What's up everybody, welcome back to Voyage RC. Gonna do another quick little video on the HOSS 4x4 VXL from Traxxas today. Gonna do a little video showing the new parts and then the not so new parts, so kind of a mix of what they made new for the truck and what they used off of old trucks, to kind of give you a breakdown on what the new truck is and whether or not it's worth it for you, so stay tuned. Hey guys, got a new merch store available with some hats, shirts, and other accessories, so if you want to pick up some cool swag and support the channel, go ahead and click that link in the description below. I brought my cheat sheet. Alright everybody, so what's new with this HOSS 4x4 VXL from Traxxas? The new truck they just announced hasn't hit the store yet. I think the first thing we need to cover is going to be pricing on it. So the Max, which is their 4-cell 10-scale 4-wheel drive truck, was priced at $529.95, and that just got a price hike up to $549.95, and that is going to bring the HOSS in at an expected $469.95. So that's the price you can expect to pay at your local hobby shop. So $469.95 versus $549.95 for the 4-cell Max. Which is also somewhat of a beefier truck just because it was sized down from the X-Max, so it was kind of built to the same standards as the X-Max, just on a smaller scale. That being said, kind of dive into the parts here and what we think is new and what is not new, or not what we think rather, but what we know. You can go to their website for the HOSS, go to their support page, and you can actually download the parts list in a PDF, and you can also get the exploded views already. So you can look at the part numbers and see. So for those of you that don't know how Traxxas does their part numbering system, like when the eRevo 2 came out, that was an 860 whatever part number on the truck. So all the 8600 part numbers were eRevo 2.0 parts. And then when the Max came out, it was an 890 truck. So the 8900 part numbers were for the Max. Now this HOSS coming out at a 9000 part number. So all the 9000 part numbers are going to be the new parts specifically for the HOSS, and then all the old parts in there that you see, like the 68s or the 67s, those are all going to be numbers off of like the Rustler 4x4, etc. Stuff they used on the Slash 4x4, kind of a combination of the parts. So that's kind of a little breakdown on how their parts numbering system goes. Now that being said, obviously they're going with the new body for the HOSS, new truck, new body. That's just kind of how it goes. So the body is going to be available in the orange and the green out of the Ready to Run, which you can also buy separately in the pre-painted orange and green, and then you can also get the body in clear, as well as clear with the Pro Graphics applied to it. So they are offering it with the Pro Graphics applied, kind of like they do on the Rustler and stuff, where you just pick a background color. You already got the graphics on it, you just spray your background color, that kind of stuff. And then all the accessories for the body, since this is on their clipless body mounting line, you're going to have the body support and all the skid plates and stuff like that available for it. So all those new part numbers, obviously molded to the new body style, are going to be a new part number. So again, that's all new stuff for the HOSS, as well as the tires. So they came out with a 2.8 Sledgehammer tire. The Sledgehammer was a pretty popular tire for the Max, so I'm glad to see them bring it in at another size. So 2.8 Sledgehammer, and again, you could use this on the Rustler 4x4. It is a little taller than the standard Rustler. It's not a low profile tire like the Rustler 4x4 uses, but it is a 2.8 wheel, so it's going to be a little taller on the Rustler 4x4, but you could throw it on there. VRC Mag actually, or Velocity RC Magazine, VRC Mag on Instagram, they posted a picture, kind of a size comparison between a bunch of different trucks. I think it had the 2-wheel drive Stampede, the Rustler 4x4, the new HOSS, as well as the Max and the X-Max. And then I think they set a little soda can on it, for kind of size comparison to see the height-wise difference. But that's a good little chart to give you kind of size comparison on the different vehicles and kind of where this HOSS fits into the sizing between the Max and the Rustler 4x4, so it's kind of an in-between size. Cutscene. Next noticeable parts, obviously you've got the tires and the body, and then to match up with the body you're going to have bumpers, so front and rear bumpers, and then I think some of the supports for the bumpers were used off of the Rustler 4x4, but your bumpers themselves and stuff are all going to be new part numbers. Wheelie bar mount, so wheelie and wheelie bar, that is all new. So new wheelie bar mount for it, new wheelie bar itself for it. And then it does appear, if you look at their parts listing, that you can use the mount number 6777 and then use a standard two-wheel drive mount on it. So the standard two-wheel drive mounts are actually available in different colors. So if you wanted to change up the color and the look a little bit, and I'm not sure if the wheelie bar mount that comes on the Hoss is adjustable, but the two-wheel drive ones are adjustable a little bit. So that would give you that other option there. According to their parts list, they list that under their parts. So that should be feasible to throw on there. See, the chassis is a new part number, and this is probably because this is a longer wheelbase than the Rustler 4x4. So the chassis is a new part number. Cutscene. Let's see, what else do I have written down here? Same center drive shaft as the front and rear drive shafts of the Rustler. So same center drive line and same drive shafts. So the 6851A and 6852A. Those were the beefier ones over the Slash 4x4. So a little beefed up, but still plastic. Now, anybody that's driven a Traxxas before knows that the drive shaft on the four-wheel drives is kind of the weak link. So expect to be replacing those. Or upgrading them to like a steel drive shaft. Should work with all the MIP drive shafts for the 4x4, since it is the same shaft off the Rustler and the Slash 4x4. So probably looking to doing an upgrade for those. Those are probably going to be the weakest point on the truck. They typically are on their four-wheel drive lineup, but you know, coming in at a sub $500 truck, would have been nice to have a steel drive shaft option just because you are downgrading to a 3S truck, but Traxxas did what they felt they did and go from there. So you just plan on upgrading them. Let's see what else. Center diff housing is new. So new center diff housing, obviously because of the torque biasing center drive and the different chassis. So I think that had to be made new in a combination of it. But the front and rear housings and all the internals are off of the other 110 four-wheel drives. So sharing a lot of parts from like the Rustler and the Slash, but still upgrading the size and adding a little bit of new lineup to the drivetrain to accommodate for the Hoss 4x4, which falls size-wise between the Max and the Rustler 4x4. Center diff, which is the new torque biasing one. It is a standard part that they've had before. It was the upgrade part for like your Slash 4x4 and your Rustler 4x4. So it was only available as an accessory for those trucks. Now it's going to come standard in the Hoss for the new truck. So standard part on this truck, accessory part on all the other trucks. The motor, which you might have thought was a new motor, the 540XL, actually isn't a new motor. It's the same motor they use in the Max. So the 4S Max, which is a little bigger truck and runs on 4S, uses the same 540XL motor, which is a 2400 kV. So it's going to be running on 3S because it's coupled with the Valenian VXL 3S in the Hoss. So the ESC is limiting it to the 3S. So you could always get the truck and upgrade it to a better speed control and run 4S on it, because that motor's definitely capable of it. Obviously you'd have to adjust your gearing a little bit, and then the drivetrain's a little bit not as built well as the Max, so take that into account. But the motor is not new. However, they did introduce a new heatsink and fan mount. So heatsink fan and fan mount for the 540XL, which are new parts coming. So you'll be able to add those on there to cool the motor. Gonna run a little warm. It's kind of a deal when you're running 3S or above. You just run warm, especially if you're like me and you're in Arizona and you've got constant days above 105 degrees, and kind of not much you can do about that except slap a fan on it and hope you can keep it cool. Front and rear suspensions are mainly Rustler 4x4 parts, arms. So you got all the standard, you know, four-wheel drive, knuckles, caster blocks, rear hub carriers, stuff like that. So those will all be obviously swappable with their aluminum parts that they already have. So you can get the nice upgraded aluminum parts in whatever color you want. And then the A-arms are the ones off the Rustler 4x4. Let's see, shocks. Using the standard shocks that they've been using on all the 10th scale two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive trucks, with the exception of like the Slash 4x4 Ultimate, which comes with the upgraded GTR shocks. So these are the standard plastic shocks on this, which is kind of a little letdown. That would have been a nice little upgrade, especially when you're paying $470 for a truck. Would have been nice to have a little beefier shock on it. So I would expect a lot of people upgrading that, as well as the drive shafts, like I said before. Those seem to be kind of the 2 points that are going to need to be upgraded, with the exception of, you know, obviously steering servo. That's kind of a given. But yeah, so the shocks are the standard plastic ones that you find on all their other 10th scale trucks. So just the basic line, you could upgrade to the big bore or the GTR, or even throw some Pro Line shocks on there. And then let's see, Traxxas they're gonna have a slew of aluminum parts for the Haas. This mainly being because it's all the 4-wheel drive knuckles, caster blocks, like I said before. So all that stuff's already kind of available, and then I'm sure Traxxas is probably gonna come out with a handful of, you know, new specific parts for this available in aluminum. So you can get the, obviously the center drive line is the one off of the Rustler 4x4, so you can get that in all the different colors they offer for that, and then all the different colors of the aluminum they offer for all their other 4-wheel drive 10 scale stuff. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Not a whole lot of new parts, but they did make the truck a little bigger, so obviously to accommodate for that, they had to make some new parts to, you know, beef it up in size and stuff. But they did. It's basically a big tire Rustler 4x4. I mean, if you really want to break it down, that's what the truck is, with a lot more torquey motor in it. So more torquey motor, and then the bigger tire than the Rustler 4x4. So if you guys are looking into this, keep an eye out at your local hobby shop. They should be hitting, if you know, the first demo models should be hitting the store soon, so you can go down there and take a look at them, kind of get your eye on it and get your hands on it and see what it's like. And then hopefully by the end of the month, pending all this pandemic stuff, hopefully Traxxas's timeline holds true and the trucks are available by the end of the month at a $469.95 price tag. So I'm gonna cut the video off there. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it so you're notified of all the new videos coming out. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as always, I will see you in the next one.